Alrighty, my friends, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back here to another live stream, another update on the tropics, my friends. So here's the schedule for today. I just want to go ahead and say this right off the bat. So for today, we're obviously doing a bit of a morning update with you guys, or sorry, early afternoon update here. Whenever it comes to the tropics, so we're going to talk all about the tropics. I'll even mention a little bit about the severe weather today. Also, got ourselves a planned coverage later on today. I'm not entirely too sure when we're going to go live. Probably figure that out in this live stream when we look at the models and stuff like that. So, anyways, folks, hope everyone's doing good. Let's go ahead and see who we got here so far. We have Tiffany, we have Tabletop, we have ourselves Tash, we have Mark, we have Andrea, we have ourselves Pines. Let's see here. Hopefully that's your name. We have Uranus, we have Misty, we have Roby, we have Odd One, Mr. Tryhard, we have Jim. What's up, guys? Haven't seen you in a while, Jim. Hope you're doing good, man. Anyways, y'all, so they did do what I expected them to do. Last night, they ended up essentially, let's see here. They ended up upgrading that risk to a high chance of development overall. Remember yesterday, like I was talking about, we had ourselves a overall 60% chance of probability of development. They have bumped that up to 70 in the last update. Let's go ahead and hop y'all over here to the full screen overall. So, formation chance through the next 7 days is a 70% chance, as well as through the next 48 hours is a 40% chance overall. So we have ourselves, a decent chance of tropical development out there. Now, when it comes to Disturbance 1, this is 94L. This guy only has a 30%. They did actually upgrade it. Since yesterday, there was actually a 20% chance. Now we're at a 30%, so there's a slight uptick overall. So we'll have to keep an eye out there for that one overall there. And of course, with the other one, 95L, that's the one we got to really be watching for. Honestly, 94L, some models pick up on maybe some development down in time. We'll talk about 94L and 95L, but let's go ahead and start off with 95L. Let's just go ahead and get it. Already go ahead and get that update there for you. So yeah, once again, probability of this system turning into a tropical storm or a tropical depression throughout the next 48 hours. So the next 2 days is a 40% chance overall, and the formation chance for the next 7 days is a 70% chance. Now, from what the models we were talking about yesterday, there is a possibility that this system could become a tropical storm possibly as early as late tomorrow. We'll have to see how that goes out. It says that, it seems like this weekend we're likely going to have a tropical storm out of this system here overall. So let's go ahead and actually hop our way over here. First of all, we're going to hop over here for a minute, and then we're going to hop over to the models. We're going to take a look at the latest and greatest here. Oh my goodness. Actually, I managed to successfully sneeze. That is crazy. On streams, usually my sneezes just stop mid-flight. But anyways, so yeah, like I was mentioning, 95L, we got ourselves a lot of spaghetti models. Let's go ahead and hop y'all over here so you can actually see what I'm looking at. But yeah, so according to the spaghetti models, it looks very confident that we are going to go right through the Leeward Islands down there towards the Lesser Antilles. Could impact places out there near Trinidad, some of those other regions nearby. Possibly even getting, a bit of a coastal concern for areas, out there towards like Puerto Rico, possibly out there, towards like Haiti portions, and maybe even near Cuba could have some coastal impacts down in time. But you can see here, models are actually in very well agreement, believe it or not, for the next 3 or plus days or so. You can actually see how those models are really tight together. That is showing that there is a lot of, like I said, that is showing that there is, a lot of agreement between the track of this model here overall. So we'll definitely need to watch this one. And so at this point, like I was saying, for the Lesser Antilles, yes, it does look like they are going to be taking a bit of a hit. So if you know anybody out there, if you know anybody in the Windward Islands, the Lesser Antilles in general, and even surrounding islands, we need to watch this one, okay? Because like I said, this is going to be possibly problematic. Once again, as the title suggests, this thing has potential of being a pretty decent hurricane, possibly by the time it reaches these areas. If all conditions play out to be right, that does seem to be a possibility overall. So we'll definitely keep an eye out there for that there. So yeah, once again, models are on track regarding that. Now, when it comes to the intensity, this is something else, man. We have more models since we did it yesterday. It seems like the middle point, that's typically where you want to ride. all of the models, let's just go ahead and say that all the models suggest this thing a tropical storm. This thing is likely going to be a tropical storm here. Like I said, probably within the next day or so. We'll have to see. But yeah, so this thing continues to rapidly strengthen. We're just going to grab the middle point of the models here. The middle point, possibly has this thing getting well up into hurricane strength here. And like I said, at that point in time, it definitely seems possible. So that's something I really wanted to point out with you guys. But let's go ahead and remove that real quickly. So yeah, back over to the spaghetti models. You notice how a lot of the models have this thing making that landfall between a forecast hour 96 and 120. So 96 hours out to 120 hours out roughly. More towards 96 hours out is kind of when we are expecting that. So 96 hours out, according to the median of those models, you can kind of see we're right there near Cat 1. We're right there near Category 1 strength, possibly upper tropical storm, maybe lower mid, Category 1 strength overall. So, like I said, it could have some impacts, potentially as a hurricane down in time. Now, there's a handful of some models that we're going to look at here. That's a little bit interesting. Well, let's first of all, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these ensembles, and then we'll dive into specific models like the GFS and then the HWRF and some of those models there too. So here's what we got so far on the ensembles. This is the GEFS, so the GFS model ensembles here. We are expecting rapid strengthening to potentially occur as it approaches the Lesser Antilles there. Once again, we are expecting this to make landfall or impact here on July 1st. It seems like July 1st is going to be the day where we are going to see that impact there, okay? Definitely have to watch out there for that overall. Now, there will be some coastal impacts regardless. Out there in the coastlines, there's going to be some rip currents. There's going to be some swelling potentially. There's going to be a bit of issues. Tabletop, dude, thank you, man, for the $2. North Carolina, you just got a wind threat today, man. Just a marginal, level 1, no tornado, no hail. So yeah, like I mentioned, we do have ourselves, rapid strengthening that's expected as this thing does approach the Lesser Antilles out there. Overall, it does seem like the Leeward Islands are probably going to be the ones that's going to take most of the impact, at least from what we're seeing right now. Overall, now at this point in time, we are very confident that this thing will just continue rolling into the Southern Caribbean here. Overall, it'll likely do that, but what happens at this point is still unknown. We still really don't know what it's going to do. It has multiple scenario potentials as it rolls its way into this body of water here towards the Gulf. If it makes it to the Gulf, that's the thing. It could not. I mean, the models are still too iffy right now to determine that. So at least up until this point here, it does seem to be that we are going to be looking at this thing tracking into the Southern Caribbean. All ensembles, or all members, I should say, of this of the ensembles here from the GFS model. It does seem like this thing does line up all of those members to be impacting, right there near the Lesser Antilles overall. So that was the GFS. Let's see, GEPS ensemble. So here's a few other ones. Same thing basically. The median has it going right through the southern side of the Lesser Antilles. There's a member or two that goes up differently. Honestly, at this point, I'm actually very confident in saying, guys, that the track potential of this thing going this way is pretty much ruled out at this point. This thing will likely not go above the Lesser Antilles. At this point in time, we are actually very confident that this system's just going to go like something like that. Track somewhere between the Lesser Antilles going through the Southern Caribbean. And like I said, where it ends up from there, that's unknown. So possible hypothetical scenarios is that, if as it continues into the Caribbean, it could continue going west. It could impact Mexico. I mean, shoot, it could just dive itself into Mexico and die out. Or, worst case scenario, it can kind of dive towards the U.S. coasts. That's a possibility. There isn't even a possibility maybe down in time that this thing, as a hypothetical scenario, this is, once again, we don't know. But sometimes these systems can curve up through like Cuba. But at that point, that would be really good, actually. Not for Cuba, obviously, but for U.S. impacts, because what essentially happens is that Cuba's mountain ranges really shred apart a tropical system. So that would be beneficial for the U.S., but once again, that wouldn't be so good for Cuba. So unfortunately, it seems like, obviously because the waters are warm and everything like that, There's probably going to be some more areas of land. We just don't know where that's going to be impacted because this thing's just heading towards a bunch of land. Eventually, it's got to go somewhere. So depending on its strength and all that stuff, it's probably going to hit some more land after it crosses through the Lesser Antilles. But like I said, that's where we need to focus for now. We don't really need to focus quite yet on these guys. Although I would just say a bit of a heads up for, some of these areas down here. Towards like Puerto Rico and like Haiti and Jamaica, just a bit of a heads up for you all, because I really want you guys to, just be watching this system. So yeah, just towards the southern coast of those areas I just mentioned, definitely keep an eye out there for. And of course, yes, definitely the Lesser Antilles. It's certainly, like I said, certainly pretty much a certainty that you guys are going to get hit at this point. Like I said, right now we're just kind of working out the strength in terms of how strong it's going to be when it approaches you, but we already know it is going to approach you. And the timing, we're expecting July 1st. What a way to start off a new month, man. Like I said, right around July 1st is when we are expecting that. Anyways, y'all, well, it's the time y'all been waiting for. Let's go ahead and hop on into those models. Now, I tell you what, man, before we get on into those, let me let you know that these guys are spicy. They are some spicy models out there right now. Let's go ahead and talk about them. We're going to start off with the Euro, because I feel like the Euro is taking more of a conservative approach here overall. Let me go ahead and hop y'all over back to the models here. Let's see. There we go. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and hop our way down towards the North Atlantic. So here's Euro. Actually, what we can do, we'll get to that in a minute. See, ECMWF here. We'll go ahead and take a look here at 95L. So here we go. So we have the O0 or the Zero Zulu run. Yeah, so this model does have strengthening, as it continues to roll west. You can see it does approach the Lesser Antilles towards the Leeward Islands as a possible tropical storm. According to the ECMWF, seems like it's not set to be anything significant. I mean, there's going to be enough moisture, maybe some drying on the right-hand side of the cyclone. Could be limiting some of that, overall development according to the European model there overall. So, that's the wind field, not super, super large, but it will definitely cause some, some rip current concerns. Even with something like that, would cause some coastal problems out there. So, out there heading towards the Lesser Antilles, towards the Leeward Islands there. That's kind of what, what it seems to be looking like out there. Then, of course, this thing continues rolling down in time. Now, possibly picking up some strength, but like I said, what happens in this point in time, it's a little bit in la-la land right now. So we'll have to just continue watching that one. Yeah, I've noticed that, Mothman, that Euro typically does underdo. That's why I wanted to start off with that one first, because that's the one that's kind of showing more of a lighter approach, per se, overall there. All right, let's go ahead and hop to GFS. Y'all are in for quite a show. Okay, so as we roll our way down in time, this thing potentially could kick up in the tropical storm state as early as basically the morning of the 29th, it seems, according to this model. We work our way further down in time. Rapid intensification on goes, as this thing potentially could be a major hurricane, according to the GFS model. Pressure down in the 960s. Pretty daggone low pressure. This would be a very, very, pretty strong hurricane, according to the GFS, if this actually played out. Okay, so as you can already tell, there's a big difference in the models there. In terms of moisture, there's a lot of moisture. There's really no problem on the eastern side. The European model was kind of suggesting, European model was kind of showing the fact of more drier air maybe infiltrating on the eastern flank of the storm. But for the most part, the GFS keeps it relatively calm, not calm, definitely not calm, relatively organized, I should say, regarding moisture supply. So both on, pretty perpendicular to both sides, or sorry, I'm an idiot. pretty normal, or pretty equal, I should say, on all sides, is what I was trying to get there. Anyways, but yeah, so when it comes to it, though, look at this, y'all. Y'all are about to get a kick out of infrared. Yeah. All right, so we get quite a donut developing here. Possible eye, according to GFS, developing here for the 30th. We'll see. But yeah, as this thing approaches, you can kind of see where that goes there. According to the GFS model, this thing really has that thing being quite strong as it rolls right over the Lesser Antilles there. I mean, look at that. It's very pixelated because it's low res, but you can see that there's an obvious eye on that storm there. according to the GFS, the infrared scan. This thing continues. It doesn't go any further past this point, but obviously the GFS wants the Lesser Antilles to get hit pretty good. So that is something that we're going to need to pay attention to, and plot that as a possible scenario that this thing could become a pretty strong hurricane, possibly significant, or a major hurricane potentially, as we approach our way towards Lesser Antilles. There is some models that do talk about that. All right, moving on. Let's take a look at the HWRF model. This one's another hurricane model overall. We actually have a new run coming through right now, so hopefully that'll come out soon. But let's go ahead and hop to the previous one. That one actually rendered already. So according to the HWRF model, we are expecting some rapid strengthening as this thing also approaches towards the Lesser Antilles, towards the Leeward Islands. The track on this model has it a little bit further south overall there, so that's kind of what we are, that's kind of what we are seeing here. That's down there towards the Leeward Islands, like I said, down there towards the Leeward Islands there. We're kind of still targeting the same area in general, but you can see that obviously the the GFS model had this thing kind of going that way, and this model has it going maybe a little further south there. So, in terms of exact landfall point, we still don't know, but we are just, saying that the southern Lesser Antilles, or the Leeward Islands, seems to be the most impacted there overall. Do I even dare look at infrared on this guy? Let's go ahead and backtrack a little bit. So according to, you guys can follow along in the time zone on the top right. It's in Eastern time, by the way, so this is June 30th, 2 a.m. Obviously, at this point, the HWRF model has this thing rapidly strengthening, a nice tropical storm developing. Then we start to see maybe what looks to be a bit of an eye develop as it rolls over the Lesser Antilles there. Yikes! That's pretty nasty there. You can see the eye, obviously, as it rolls through the southern Lesser Antilles there, and continues rolling its way to the west. Pinhole eye there. So we'll have to continue watching that. But yeah, the HWRF model doesn't play around either. In terms of moisture, nothing but moisture. There's literally a bunch of there's literally a bunch of moisture that's included in that storm there. Now, the pressure as it passes through, according to this model, could even reach in the 960 millibar zone. That's definitely quite a like I said, quite a strong low at that point. Once we approach roughly, now this will be taken as an estimate. Roughly once we get into like the 950s, 960s, that's when it has very good potential of being a major hurricane, based off of pressure alone. But that doesn't always, correlate, because you also got to take in consideration how big the storm is, and all kinds of stuff like that. So, basically, the Saffir-Simpson scale goes off of winds. If you have a bigger storm, it's going to take more deeper pressure and more closer isobars to allow for, obviously, some stronger winds. Basically the way these winds work here is that the quicker the pressure, the quicker that the pressure drops off, in theory, the faster the winds should be. And obviously, if you have that pressure that's scattered more out over a larger area, it makes the gap between your pressure, it makes your pressure drop a lot more smooth, or less steep. What's the opposite of less steep? Whatever that is. So that's that's kind of how it goes. So you need obviously a bigger low. You need a lower pressure. Anyways, enough of that. But yeah, according to this model, I mean, considering the size of it, yeah, this thing would be quite powerful at this point in time overall. So that's the HWRF. Here's HMON. This is actually a model I haven't looked at yet. I kind of waited to see this one. I'm curious to see it with you. Actually, we have a new run coming through right now. Wow. Okay, so this is the new run. It already has it in Cat 1 plus strength at that point. Let's hop to the previous one here. All right, so according to this model, as it approaches the Lesser Antilles, yeah, so we're talking 980s, lower 980 millibar range out there. Could be, like I said, at that point, it could be, in the hurricane strength at that point in time. Let's see. I don't think this one has. I'm pretty sure this one does not have the infrared view. But what I can look is that wind field there, and definitely some pretty strong winds with that system there overall. So what we can learn from these models, and what you guys have seen with those models there, whenever it comes to it here overall, it's like essentially, all the models are kind of showing this thing impacting the southern Lesser Antilles there overall. It really does seem like that in general. And of course, this thing could possibly even pick up some more strength as it rolls past the Lesser Antilles and stuff like that. So we'll have to see. Let's see here. Isn't as likely as go up to East Coast. So yeah, this system in general. Here, let's hop you all over here. There is one model that supports it, but honestly, at this point in time, I don't think so. I really don't think that's going to be a likely scenario. I think the most likely scenario, guys, is this guy's going to track west, impact the southern Lesser Antilles, and continue into the Gulf, and then just do something else after that. At this point in time, what happens next, we don't know. Like I said, once again, there's endless possibilities with what this thing can do. It could track into the Gulf. It could become a problem for the U.S. down in time. Right now, it's not, so there's no need to prepare or freak out right now. Anywhere in the U.S., we're good for now. But, obviously, people who want to watch this storm, I'd highly advise it, just across the U.S. East Coast. Not saying you guys will, or in the Gulf Coast, I should say. Not saying you guys will get impacted, which more than likely, most of you will not. If any of you will not. Like I said, that's what we don't know. But I want you to at least monitor the system, at least watch it, because, in some scenarios, I'm not saying that this is how this one's going to play out, but I said in some scenarios, these things can cross up into the Gulf and, do some funky stuff. Which could, either reach, as far west as Texas or could reach as far east as Florida. We don't know. At that point, like I said, we really do not know. So that's why I always say, let's just keep it right here at this point in time. We're going to keep it mostly on this path. For the areas that I really want to really start preparing for this, obviously is the Lesser Antilles. If you live out in the Lesser Antilles, I want you to go ahead and start preparing for a tropical system, as you normally would. Go ahead and start preparing. I'd stock up on some water and stuff like that while you can before it sells out and all that stuff. So yeah, stock up on some water, just some basic needs that you need. Like I said, we're expecting ETA of the storm to arrive here right around the 1st of July. Right around the 1st of July here overall. So that's when we're expecting the impacts. So right around the 1st of July is what the models are kind of showing here. All the models are actually on board with that happening sometime around the 1st. Anyways, so yeah, that's that. And also another area I want to at least watch. I want you guys to at least, you don't necessarily have to really prepare for it yet, but I want you to heavily watch it. If y'all are kind of out there towards Puerto Rico, obviously out there towards southern Haiti, we have Jamaica, and even southern Cuba. If you guys are in that area there, I would highly consider at least monitoring really closely on that system. And I honestly would expect there to be some coastal impacts up there on the southern side of those bodies of water there. Possibly even southern Cuba. I'm not saying this is 100% where it's going to be, but it's typically those southern ones. Overall. Oh, hold on a minute. We just got a new update here. Oh, here we go. Got a new update on the tropics. They upgraded it. They sure did, man. So, oh, wow, dude. Y'all are about to be surprised with this new update. Let's just say that. Hurricane Center just came in and changed up everything. Oh, buddy. I'm not surprised, though, honestly. So the latest update was 70% chance of formation out of the system in the next 7 days. So the next 7 days, there's a 70% chance of the system turning into a tropical storm or a tropical depression. Formation chance for the next 48 hours, next 2 days, 40% chance overall. So let's see if they updated it yet. It doesn't look like they did, but let me show you what I got. I get notifications early before it releases on the graphics. Yeah, so next 48 hours, or the next 2 days, there is a 60% chance. It's now likely that it'll develop in the next 2 days, according to the Hurricane Center. So 60% chance overall. And throughout the next 7 days, it is at a whopping 90% chance. Sorry, 80%. My bad. I was thinking 90, but it's 80. It's 80% chance overall formation in the next 7 days, 60% chance in the next 48 hours. So there you go, y'all. We're now a little higher now. Let's see if it'll update. Sometimes it usually takes a little bit to update here, which, yeah, it's taking a minute. So we'll go ahead and update the graphic here in a little bit. For the other system, if you're wondering, still the same probs. Still a 10% in the next 48 hours and 30% chance in the next 7 days. But yeah, this guy down here, the one we're watching right now, 95L, this one has an overall 80% chance now of development, and a 60% chance of it developing in the next 2 days, within the next 2 days. So it's definitely, oh, it updated for you. Oh, okay, cool. Thanks for that. Well, there you go. Formation chance on the, you can look at the bottom of the paragraph there. Formation chance through 48 hours or 2 days, 60%. Formation chance through 7 days, high, 80%. So it's, yeah, it's looking pretty good right now, y'all. Things are definitely picking up here with the system. What the heck? There's some weird ads on here. Anyways, let's go and get rid of those ads, because who likes ads, dude? Anyways, but yeah, so like I said, that's with that. It'll continue rolling into the Caribbean more than likely, overall. Yeah, Andrea, I'm not either. I'm really not either. I mean, it's just, I think it's crazy, though, just how quickly they're upgrading this thing. Because yesterday it was a low overall chance of like 20% yesterday morning. And this morning it's an 80% chance. It's just such a big jump. Models have really picked up on this system in the last day or so. It's been there for actually more than 2 days at this point, but it seems like the models have really gotten a good hold of it now. And it really does seem like there could be some problems with that system. Let's talk a little bit about 94L. 94L, guys, is this guy. Hold on a minute. This guy right here. Oh, they did update it. Nice. Yeah. So there it is right there. Formation chance through 7 days, low 30%, 10%. So this is 94L. 95L is the big one. 94L is this guy. So let's talk a little bit about 94L real quickly. This guy, overall, we only have like one model. We only have like one model supporting this right now. Two models, my bad. Really supporting that on the Hurricane models. Yeah, it really seems to be digging its way up into Mexico, out there towards the Yucatan Peninsula. Overall, that's going to slow the storm down. Probably it's going to cause it to, be a little bit more weaker. Yet again, though, for the Southern Gulf, man, there's already been 3 systems down in the Southern Gulf. I mean, we had Alberto, one that went through these areas here. We had that other Invest that did not turn into any storm, but it was another tropical low that rolled through, and then now we have even another one with low probability, though. Like I said, 30% chance in the next week, 7 days. That's pretty low odds, so I ain't too worried about it overall. Intensity guidance, there's a handful of models, or a couple of models, I should say, that does support this thing maybe becoming a tropical storm down in time. Right now we're sustained around 25 knots currently. You can see a little bit of gradual strengthening is possible. We'll see how that goes. I mean, obviously there's not enough information with the models quite yet, but because actually most of them, I think, have it dying out for the most part, which is not surprising. It's going to be rubbing up against land for a while there. But, yeah, tropical storm, it's not out of the picture. It's possible, but, once again, we'll just have to see how that goes. Current central low, we're talking 1,008 millibars. 1,008 millibars overall. What the heck? That's interesting. Okay. Yeah, so 1,008, decent low organized there. Sustained winds of around 25 knots overall. So, it's a low. 95L is actually a little higher in pressure. 1,011 millibars, sustained winds of around 25 knots. Here's actually the latest satellite imagery of 95L. So this is the big one. This is the big guy that we're looking at here. So this is the one that has the 80% chance of formation. Right now, in terms of looking at it, we have some decently organized convection to the north of that low. Our low pressure is somewhere in here, is where that low is located. So, obviously it has a bit more organization it needs to do to really, kick off out there, overall, in general. But, it's on the right track. And like I said, this thing, according to models, should really start picking up here soon. Let's see here. Tash says, let's see here. Could 94L become a tropical depression? 30% chance, yeah. In the next 7 days, there's a 30% chance that it'll be a tropical depression or a tropical storm. In the next 2 days, there's a 10% chance. So it's highly unlikely that we'll get any development in the next 2 days out of that system. Let's see here. Oh yeah, also, yeah, I did want to talk quickly. We're gonna take a quick break from the tropics, and I'm gonna bring you over to severe weather here in the U.S. today. I'm actually going to do some coverage on this today, a little bit, probably at least 1 or 2 hours or so on y'all. We're going to do a little bit of coverage with you guys today. So whenever it comes to it, here, like I was mentioning here, we have ourselves an enhanced risk, a pretty big enhanced risk actually, across a lot of the central and northern plains out there today, even portions of the the Rockies. Could see. I'm pretty sure eastern Montana is, somewhat hilly, but I think a lot of the big mountains are on the western side. But obviously, yeah, portions of eastern Montana is even in the enhanced risk today. We got a low pressure system kicking off here across, just up north of Montana here in southern Canada. This is going to be amplifying those lower level winds and overall our kinematics there to allow for some potential severe weather to occur today. All hazards is on the table, unfortunately. Let me go ahead and bring you over here to the Storm Prediction Center's page. It's a little easier to hop between the risk areas there. So let's go ahead and hop y'all over here to that. So here's the risk that we're looking out there for today. Overall, we got ourselves an enhanced risk across portions of Nebraska. This is a level 3 out of 5 on the spectrum. The scale goes up to 5, being worst case, worst expectancy of severe weather-wise. We're in the middle, so we're kind of in a decent event for today. Anyway, so yeah, we got ourselves like I said, we got ourselves an enhanced risk across Nebraska, North South Dakota, and portions there of Montana. Tornado probability for today is a 5% chance overall. So the greatest potential for tornadoes today is going to be up in northwestern Nebraska, portions of western South Dakota, western North Dakota, as well as northeastern Montana, with the overall tornado probability going all the way down towards even western Kansas. So if you're in the green area here, you have a 2% chance of having a tornado within 25 miles of you, and if you're in the brown, you have a 5% chance of having a tornado within 25 miles of you. So obviously, greatest potential is going to be across the brown for today. Now, damaging winds, things are a little crazy today. We have a big hatch risk. So you see that big netting over there? 30% chance probability of significant wind damage, potentially with winds being over 70 plus miles an hour. So we're talking 70, 80 plus mile an hour wind gusts possible in these areas with that netting. 15% chance of that occurring within 25 miles of you across the yellow. So if you're in the net, you're in that significant 70 plus range. If you're not, then you're in that 60 to 70 mile per hour range. But yeah, 15% non-SIG over here, 15% SIG over here. And of course, we have ourselves 5% chance, low improbability, even out there towards the Carolinas and Georgia there with a little bit of a 5% risk over there. Nothing super crazy. When it comes to hail, though, too, we got another hatch risk for hail. We got another 30% out there in western North Dakota and places out there towards eastern Montana. Pretty crazy out there. Big hatch risk out there for hail. We're talking potential hail size 2 inches in diameter and larger for today. Really big hail is expected for today's storms with that, that netting area. 15% chance, once again, across the yellow, 5% chance across the brown, 30% chance across the red. All the 30s in that significant risk. So if you're in the red, you're in a significant risk for severe weather, for hail, I should say. 2 inches in diameter and larger. This area here, it's in the non-significant area. This is in the significant area. So non-significant, we're talking hail between 1 and 2 inches in diameter, while the significant areas here is in the 2+ inch range. So once again, same probability, but just different meanings in the hatch area and in the non-hatch area overall. Let's see here. Could 95L head to Florida, or is it too far out? It's too far out to tell. It really is. We don't even know if this is going to have any impact on the U.S. But what I will tell you is that in past events, storms that have taken this track have moved, throughout the Gulf in general. And like I said, I'm not saying that this one will. Hopping back over to tropics now. But yeah, not saying that this one will in general. I'm just going to hop up 95L. So the cutoff point right now regarding this system, I'd say, is like right in here. We have a pretty good grab. The hurricane models have a pretty good grab on what this system's track is likely going to be. At this point, we have definitely nailed that the southern Lesser Antilles, or the Leeward Islands here, is probably going to be, like I said, the landfall area of that storm there. So it does seem like 95L is going to be taking a direct approach to the lower Lesser Antilles, possibly out there towards like Trinidad area as well. So that's something we'll have to see. It'll likely continue moving west, as models do agree on that, going into the southern Caribbean. At that point, like I was saying, southern Puerto Rico, places out there, near like Dominican Republic and, Haiti. as well as, areas out there towards, like, maybe even Jamaica, far down in time, could have a little bit of coastal problems with this system. We'll see. We'll definitely see here overall. But for now, like I was mentioning, we're really going to focus right now on the Lesser Antilles and surrounding islands. And then, of course, I'm just going to say, yeah, in this region, you need to prepare now. This is the time to prepare if you're in this area, because this thing is heading your way. It looks like July 1st is going to be the date of impact. Regarding strength, we're talking anywhere from tropical storm to possibly even near major hurricane status, according to multiple models. So we'll see about that. We'll continue to watch it, as most models have rapid strengthening potentially into, some pretty high, pretty high-end winds with that system. Now, for these areas, I want to go ahead and put out like an area to watch for the Southern Caribbean here, just as a bit of a heads up for you guys. I'm not saying you guys have to full-on prepare in these regions here. But what I will tell you is that as the system does work its way, as it does cut through the Caribbean, say if it doesn't make any landfall with any of these islands here, so at that point, there's still going to be some coastal problems, regarding rip currents, possibly even some swelling of the water, maybe some, surging in some areas, even if you're not directly hit by the cyclone. The hurricanes really move around the waves. So hurricanes produce a lot of big waves, and so they're going to have a lot of big waves more than likely on these regions, causing a bit of coastal flooding potential down in time. We'll just have to see how that goes out overall. But yeah, so the main area, once again, we're just going to be paying attention for this region here for the next little bit. That's where impact is imminent, basically, at this point. I mean, models have really pinpointed that that's the area. I mean, shoot, like I said, I'm very impressed by the hurricane models of how much agreement they're dealing with right now. They're doing great. They're doing fantastic right now. And it does seem like the Leeward Islands is the place of target for July 1st. That's whenever we are going to be seeing that overall impact overall. Yeah, I did see the NHC update. Yeah, I actually alerted that. Probably the first to get that word out there, honestly, because I got that immediately, even before the main Hurricane Center page updated there. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that for that. Hopping back on over here to intensity guidance. So this is the hurricane models, but just plotting their intensity. Obviously, all models do have this thing, rapidly intensifying. That median, that middle point, has this guy, easily making it its way into tropical storm status, and even into hurricane status. Now, you can see there's a handful of models that even supports this thing potentially as high as Cat 2, maybe Cat 3, kind of in our 1 in 10% percentile there. Potentially, as of right now, I should say. HWFI has a very interesting approach to that storm. Obviously, that's what we call an outcast, because it's really the only model that supports that. But yeah, what you really want to do is just take the median, take that middle point, and that's really your safe bet. Obviously, expect the worst, prepare for the worst, hope for the best. That's what we always say. I mean, yeah, at this point, as it approaches the Lesser Antilles, which will be right around this point in time here, it seems like, we're going to be right there near hurricane strength, tropical storm strength, but like I said, I think it has potential to be even stronger than that. I think we might even be pushing higher categories. We'll have to see, though. I need some more support with the models. I need to see some more runs and all that stuff before I can really tell you exactly what to expect overall. But like I said, I mean, yeah, models are on point, man, regarding this system. I mean, the GFS ensembles here, each member is showing that it is going to be in the Lesser Antilles. There's none that really tracks above the Windward Islands. There's really none that does a track above that. So that's good. That's not a scenario. It seems like that, yes, this thing will definitely go over the Lesser Antilles. I mean, there's really no avoiding it in the Lesser Antilles at this point now, because at this point we're very solid in terms of understanding where this thing will go, and it will go over the Lesser Antilles towards the Leeward Islands more than likely, as that's kind of what we're looking out there for. And then obviously gradual development to the west, out there in the Caribbean does seem quite likely as well. It seems like the models have been really picking up on that overall. When it comes to the hurricane models, like I said, pretty solid agreement. Hurricane models down in time have this thing getting a little close to the southern Caribbean islands, so we'll have to, like I said, just monitor that area. But there's certainly things that can change by then. So like I said, I'm not gonna, we're not gonna look at that area quite right now. Because like I said, it's definitely still a little ways away. But here's some more ensembles. This is the GEFS. Hold on, man, we already looked at that. Let's pull up the Yes, here we go. Yeah, so the GEPS models, ensembles, I should say, once again have most, if not all the members, actually all the members have it going through the Lesser Antilles, except for that one little noodle. That's the outcast one here. That's just one that's kind of picking a path that all the other ones are not picking. So obviously, you know, we're gonna have to. Yeah, it's gonna track into Southern Caribbean at this point in time. Now, what happens after this point, as it approaches here? What happens after this point is really unknown. Like I said, I mean, it can literally do anything at this point in time. You know, there's a possibility it can literally do anything. I mean, it could. It could shoot through. It could go up in the East Coast. I mean, it could, go through, maybe swing in towards Florida. It could do anything. Like I said, it could go in the Gulf. I mean, it could even literally just go and hit the Yucatan Peninsula. It could even just dig its way into Mexico. I mean, like I said, we don't know what's going to happen this far down in time. All opportunities are still open. But for down here, like I said, we're pretty confident. I mean, yeah, definitely Lesser Antilles will be hit. That's what we do know. July 1st is around the time we're expecting those impacts into Lesser Antilles overall. And like I said, even some Southern Caribbean impacts. Southern Haiti, Southern Dominican Republic, Southern Puerto Rico, possibly even Jamaica could get some coastal problems down in time a little bit after July 1st. So it'll be probably around like July 2nd or 3rd probably. So we'll have to see. What's up, Pete? Saying, good afternoon, Andrew. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing all right, man. Hope you're doing good. Could it impact 4th of July plans? We'll have to see, SD. I don't see any major impacts on the 4th of July as of now. Like I said, it really just determines on where it goes in time. July 1st, it'll be right in here. So it has 3 more days. I mean, if July 4th, depending on where it's going to be, it'll probably be somewhere in this region here. Once again, it depends on what it does. We don't know. But yeah, for right now, July 1st is where we're expecting that impact there. What's up, Jonathan? Hope you're doing good. Let's see here. Let's see. What's up, Tiffany? Hope you're doing good. Just getting to some of your chats here, guys. If y'all have any chats, go ahead and throw them down in the chat. Be appreciated. Be here to help out. New business skills for my area, 20% chance watched. Yeah, like I said, tabletop, you're in a marginal, dude. There's not anything super, super wild for your area. No tornadoes, no hail, just some gusty winds up to 60 miles an hour as possible. So we shall see. We shall see. All right, let's hop on back to models, y'all. We're going to take a look at some of those crazy, crazy models again for the people who haven't seen them yet. Oh, boy, are you guys in for a ride? Let me go ahead and hop over to the GFS here. We're going to take a look at what the American GFS has to say. Zoom out a little bit here. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Actually, this is a new run. Brand new run. 12 Zulu coming through. So according to the 12 Zulu run, wow. Is that 87 or? No, that's 67. Wow. Hard to tell because those isobars getting away. Anyways, so yeah, that goes from wow to the new GFS model run really has that thing cranking. So it hits the Leeward Islands in the Lesser Antilles there. What's up, MP? Hope you're doing good, man. I'm doing good. How about you, man? So, yeah, according to the GFS, this thing approaches as a lower 70s, maybe upper 60 millibar range. Wow. That's pretty powerful from the GFS. Yeah, plenty of moisture available. No lack of moisture according to this model. Look at this, y'all. Ready? I haven't seen this one yet, but let's take a look at it. So, GFS. Oh, boy. Wow, dude. Okay. Oh, whoops. So, yeah, well-defined eye at this point. This is for July 1st here, just slightly after it makes landfall, according to the GFS model. Has it going right there near Trinidad and some of those other islands as well. Wow, dude, that's pretty impressive. According to the GFS model, has this thing not playing around as, potentially even a major hurricane, according to the American GFS model run. ECMWF here, we don't have our 12 Zulu run out yet, so we don't really have enough information on it quite yet, so this is as far out as it goes. It only goes out to June 30th, which is the day before impact, so as of right now, there's really no data on that. The previous model before that, this is the one that takes it the most lightly. This model only has it in the tropical depression, tropical storm range. But literally no other models support that. Like, for example, if we take a look here at the HWRF model, which is a hurricane model, this one has this guy following in footsteps. Here's actually the new run. This one's not done rendering yet, so we'll hop back to the previous one. But yeah, this guy has this thing, quickly strengthening as well. Agreeing with GFS here, and obviously, lower 970 millibar, upper 960 millibar ranges, according to the HWRF model here. Overall, central low is around 973, 964 according to MSLP there. In right around the beginning of July 2nd. So once again, models are pinpointing July 1st regarding the time of impact. Let's take a look at the moisture. Yeah, plenty of moisture according to the HWRF model, showing a lot of moisture. Once again, very solid cyclone developing there. If we take a look here at the infrared satellite, this one's a lot more higher resolution. So as we approach our way into the 30th, this thing's likely could even be a tropical storm, if not nearly a hurricane at that point, just before it gets near the Lesser Antilles. Rapid development according to this model, and boom, would you look at that? Very solid pinhole eye there as it approaches and passes over the Leeward Islands there. So, definitely hurricane strength at that point in time. Then it'll continue rolling to the west, and this is as far as the model run goes. So it's really up to where it goes after that. But as you can see, there's a lot of models supporting the rapid development. HMON, this is another hurricane model here. This guy is showing this thing also on the same boat as both the GFS and holy cow, dude, this one is showing in a 950 millibar range. So obviously this is the strongest one yet, but it rides along with all these other models. GFS, it rides along with it. It rides along the HWRF. HMON's not far behind it. Actually, a matter of fact, it's ahead of those models, showing it even more stronger, which is a little more concerning. Yeah, man, wow, that is just incredible. So yeah, our lower level winds here, holy cow, that would definitely be very impactful for the islands down there. Definitely hurricane force winds. Yeah, according to that model, it just goes right over the Lesser Antilles. There in the Leeward Islands, and it just continues to possibly even pick up strength as it continues rolling west. So HMON is definitely a very nasty model there. Now here's another one. This is HAFS. This is one we actually haven't looked at, guys. This is a new one here. This one has another system following behind it. So I was talking about this yesterday. If you guys are here for yesterday's tropical update, I was mentioning that even after 95L, even after the one we're looking at right now, there might even be another one shortly following it behind it. There's another tropical wave that has already rolled off the west coast of Africa. So if I hop you all over here to the satellite, and I'll actually show you where it's at. Let's go ahead and full screen that real quickly for y'all, so you can actually see them. So there's 95L right there. So that's 95L. This is 94L. This is that other tropical wave I was talking about. This one doesn't have a probability yet, but like I said, it down in time, some models, including the GFS at some point, did talk about this system. And it also seems like some of the big hurricane models supports that as well. Like the HAFS A model. HAFSB here, let's see here, obviously this one's more of a zoomed in version of 95L. Once again, this one's showing it in major hurricane strength, according to this model in general. Infrared, yeah, wow, really showing this thing quite a beast overall. Let's see, moisture supply, plenty of moisture. Yeah, it doesn't seem like that's going to be much of a problem between the models there. And our lower level wind field would be catastrophic to some of these areas here if that did manage to play out this way. I mean, according to the models, according to this model, it could be definitely major hurricane status at this point. Right here for, once again, July 1st, according to the models. Timing, we're still a little iffy, but we know the date. It seems like kind of maybe afternoon, evening of July 1st seems to be the day of when we can expect this thing to have all those problems and stuff. There we go. HAFSB parents. So this one goes out a little further in time. But yeah, look at that. Also, HAFSB parent shows that other cyclone forming right behind 95L. So I think that'd be 96L if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, you can see, not one but two tropical waves there, just a train. So, like I said, I hate to break it to you, but there might even be another one following right behind that one. Out there towards the Lesser Antilles. So there's a chance you could not have one, but maybe two impactful storms to follow. GFS on this point of view, I'm pretty sure here. Let me hop over back to the GFS model run here, and pulled up the North Atlantic. In terms of GFS, yes. So the GFS is still talking about that second disturbance there. following right behind it. You know, honestly, what really determines this, I believe, is that, I mean, obviously, yeah, moisture and, you know, wind shear is a big factor with tropical development, but some things that, you know, whenever a big tropical cyclone rolls over the waters, it tends to cool down the waters a bit. So that could be maybe causing a bit of problems for that second system following behind. You know, obviously it really just depends on a bunch of factors. But yeah, I mean, there might be another one to follow, man. You know, there might be another one to follow right behind it. As you can see there on the parent models of HAFS-A, showing that other cyclone falling behind it. You know, there's 95L. This is another potential storm. I wouldn't be surprised if the Hurricane Center starts putting an invest on this guy soon. Just considering it seems quite possible of development as well down in time. But we got two big old Charlies heading our way here. Not Hurricane Charlie. I'm just saying two big old storms. It's a figure of speech, but yeah, got two big old storms heading this way throughout the Caribbean potentially. So yeah, we got to keep our eyes on the tropics for the next couple of days, y'all. HAFSB parent. This is, you know, the same model, but I think it's like a different variant of that model. It so shows the same thing. You know, it's showing the exact same thing, possibly even that second cyclone behind it, which could, you know, also kick up in some activity. So we'll see, man. We'll definitely see. That's not the only one. Like I said, we actually have 94L. 94L is, you know, not too much of my concern. We haven't really talked about it much because it's not really too concerning. This guy, you know, is going to be rolling across the, you know, the Western Caribbean here, going through possibly the Yucatan Peninsula. Probably just slowing down a bit. There's limited support on this storm becoming a tropical cyclone. We'll see how it goes, but you know, my hopes ain't too high for that guy as of right now. It doesn't seem like anything, you know, super crazy. Mississippi's fine, Gloria. You know, when it comes to, you know, for U.S. impact, if you guys are wondering, like I said, it's too far out to tell if this system's going to cause any problems for the U.S. in general. Models are all over the place right now. You know, here's some GFS ensembles. Models are all over the place. What we do know, all right, I'll start off with what we do know, and then we'll go into what we don't know. What we do know is that this system's moving west, and what we do know is that this system will be impacting the Lesser Antilles, more likely towards the Leeward Islands. What we do know is that this thing will be making that impact around July 1st. Right around July 1st. We're not sure what time, but around July 1st is kind of when we can expect that. What we do know is that will cause some impacts along the coasts, possibly even out there in the southern Caribbean. You know, southern Puerto Rico, you know, possibly southern Haiti, southern Dominican Republic. Could have some tropical, obviously some coastal impacts, I should say, tropical coastal impacts out there. You know, it could be on the southern extent of the island, I should say. You know, so it'll definitely make the seas a little rough down there as that system rolls through. So that's something we also do know, is that this thing will likely cross into the Caribbean. There's a couple of ensembles that has it, you know, digging its way up here towards the U.S. East Coast. I don't think that's the likely scenario. I think that this scenario is mostly just going to have it tracking through the Caribbean. We'll just have to see, obviously, how that plays out overall. But so yeah, that's what we do know. Now, what we don't know, what we don't know is really what's going to happen at this point in time. You know, like I said, it's literally up for grabs for anything. I mean, it could just ram its way into the Yucatan. It could just go straight to Mexico. You know, it could somehow go in the Gulf. It could impact some of the Gulf states here. You know, it's certainly possible. You know, some of these areas in here, we just need to watch. You know, like I said, some of those regions there, we'll just keep an eye out there for those coasts, I should say. You know, because at some point in time, I hate to say this, now hopefully the storm weakens by then, but at some point in time, if this thing continues barreling, it's going to hit somewhere at some point. So, you know, it'll likely be somewhere in that region. We're still not entirely sure, like I said, exactly where. Like I said, we're still not entirely sure where it's going to end up. But like I said, there is chances that it could lead in the Gulf far down in time. There's just not a whole lot of support of that right now. It's still a little too far down in time. If you guys are just joining, here's the intensity guidance based off of the hurricane models. Honestly, I feel like these are kind of underdoing things a little bit, to be honest with you, based off of what, you know, the other models I've been, you know, watching and stuff like that. So yeah, gradual development, gradual strengthening here as this thing continues on a westerly trajectory overall. Tropical storm force is pretty much inevitable or unavoidable at this point. It seems like, we are going to be having this thing easily making tropical storm status, and we actually have a 60% chance of this thing becoming a tropical system or a tropical cyclone in the next 2 days. This thing will likely possibly be a tropical storm by tomorrow night. We'll have to see. Definitely have to keep an eye out there for it overall. But yeah, this thing does increase in strength, even getting up in there towards hurricane strength here, down in time, something we got to really look out there for overall. So, it's certainly looking a little iffy. But yeah, obviously rapid strengthening is expected. And there's even a handful of models that shows this thing possibly even getting near that major hurricane standpoint. Which it seems like all, or if not most of the models that we looked at individually really did support that. Most of the models were showing that pressure ranging in the upper 950s to maybe lower 970s. Somewhere in that range is what, like the GFS, the HWRF, the HMON, some of those main models we look at for the tropics really seems to be doing that. Could have hit Tennessee? No, Tennessee's not on the coast. Tennessee's up here. And like I said, we don't even know if it's going to have any impacts on the U.S., so we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. Like I said, I'll keep on giving you guys tropical updates and all that fun stuff, but as we're going to definitely need to do, some updates there for you guys on this system here in general. But anyways, y'all, well, you guys have any questions, any comments, any concerns? If y'all have any, go ahead and throw them down in the chat. We're probably going to call it a stream here soon. I got to do some live coverage later today. Not entirely too sure what time we're going to do coverage. We got a big day of severe weather ahead of us today. So we'll definitely be we'll be live for that later on. If you guys did enjoy it, yeah, feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't. That way you guys can stay posted on the tropics, man. It's getting pretty wild out there, and I want you all to be weather aware out in that region, or just out in the tropics in general. Any Pacific developments on the NHC? There is no areas of interest right now. No tropical activity. Let me pull up some models though for you. I don't think there's anything immediate for those areas. Let's see, Eastern Pacific here. Yeah, I mean, this is for far down in time, but yeah, within the next little bit, no. Within the next little bit, not at all. But anyways, you guys. So yeah, that's pretty much what we're talking about there. Tabletop regarding the storms. It could happen. It looks like right around the transition of noon or afternoon to evening. Sometime maybe late afternoon, early evening is when you could expect those. Like I said, we're actually gonna do some coverage up in the north today. Got a bunch of storms developing out there in the central and northern plains overall. So we'll be doing some live coverage on that for y'all. And yeah, we'll definitely be here to do some coverage. Once again, I'm not sure what time. Let's see. Models kind of show maybe, wow, late event. I might go live maybe around like 7 p.m. Maybe do some coverage throughout 7, maybe into 8, maybe 9, 10. So I plan on doing at least 2 hours of coverage today. Once again, like I said, if y'all are not sure what's going on, we got an enhanced risk today, level 3 threat out of 5 on the spectrum, so pretty big risk out there today, mostly for Nebraska, North South Dakota, and portions of Montana. We'll definitely have to watch out there for. But anyways, y'all, well, yeah, we'll keep it on the tropics. Like I said, tomorrow too, I'll be doing some more updates on this. Obviously, every day we're going to do multiple. We're going to be doing multiple updates on this here until, even up until landfall point, I'm going to do coverage on that. So for my folks down there towards the Lesser Antilles, I do plan on doing coverage for you guys out there whenever that storm does near. Okay, so I'm going to do multiple updates, and then we'll do coverage, and I'll do more updates on it, and wherever it hits, if it hits anywhere else, which it probably will further down in time, we just don't know where, at that point, then, yeah, we'll do more coverage again. But anyways, y'all, well, any final questions? We just now hit our hour mark. This is a typical length of a update live stream we typically do here. We do an hour update on the tropics. We've got all the words. We've got all the information out there for y'all. So if you're just tuning in, rewind the live stream, go ahead and go back to it and all that stuff. But yeah, if there's any final questions you guys might have, anything like that, feel free to let me know, guys. What's up, Calvin? Hope you're doing good, man. Samuel says, all right, see you later, Samuel. Thanks for joining, man. See ya later. Yeah, like I said, I plan on doing that live stream probably around 7, maybe 6, 7 o'clock Eastern time. So for you guys, it's Central time, so that would be 5 or 6 o'clock Central. It's an hour behind, so yeah. Let's see here. Calvin says, I'm a little nervous about this because this wave is in the exact same area where Hurricane Harvey was. Well, Calvin, let me say something. Just because the storm is there, yeah, this is what I want you to understand here. I'm going to try to explain this the best I can. So, just because the storm is heading in the same area as it did does not mean that the other atmospheric conditions are also the same as well. For an example, I'm not exactly sure what happened. Hurricane Harvey, oh yeah, that's the one that hit Houston, right? So it kind of sat there. So with this event, there's even some talks of maybe a high pressure system rolling down, which would kind of block it maybe. Like I said, we don't really know for sure, but you know, what I'm basically just trying to say here is that, yeah, just because it's in similar path doesn't mean the other parts of the atmosphere is, you know, obviously the same as well. It's never going to be an exact replica of a previous event. I mean, some of them might play out similar to some others because of other things, but not always it's going to be like that. Sounds good, Glory. See you then. See you later, Uranus. Thanks for joining, man. Let's see here. Yeah, we'll be live around 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern tonight for live coverage up in the plains and actually portions of the Rockies too, man. It's going to be pretty crazy. We got a lot of crazy weather going on right now. You know, we got severe weather up here in the U.S. Got a big day today with severe weather. Big old enhanced risk. And, of course, we got ourselves tropics really heating up now. So, you know, things are getting a little crazy out there, man. Getting a little crazy. All right, y'all. Well, final call. Last call. Going once, going twice for any questions, any comments you guys have. Like I said, we're here for you. If you have anything, let's see here overall. Like I said, if you haven't already, y'all, consider subscribing. We're actually, here, I'm going to tell you this. We are, let's see, 18 subscribers from reaching 26,400. We're going to try to reach that today. We have 18 subscribers to go, so if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Like I said, if you don't know how to subscribe, it's just you scroll down a little bit, button says subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. That's kind of a misconception with some people. It does not cost anything. It's just hit the button. That's all you got to do. If you have a YouTube account, just hit the button. It'll do nothing. But it will actually help our channel, though. Help push, you know, YouTube, or help YouTube push our content out, which could help save more lives, potentially help out people in general. So it would be much appreciated if you guys could leave a like as well, subscribe. Thank you all so much for your support. You guys are the best. But all right, you guys. Well, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for now. If you guys did enjoy it, once again, I appreciate y'all for being, if y'all did enjoy it, leave a like. It'd be greatly appreciated. I do appreciate y'all for joining us. But alrighty, guys. Thanks for joining. We'll catch y'all later on. See you later, guys. Catch y'all around 7 o'clock.